Class. Okay, thank you. So I'll start by calling the register. Alex Kosgei, Eric Dominic, Chebet Betty, Chebet, present. Naomi, present. Franklin, Edwin, and Weldon. Okay, thank you. So I'll start by reviewing the previous class. So in our previous class, we talked about the hydrocarbons, and we said that hydrocarbons are organic compounds which contain hydrogen and carbons atoms only. We went further and categorized these hydrocarbons as the alkenes, and we said they are having single bonds. We also talked of okay, alkanes, they have single bond. Alkene, they have double, and then alkynes, they have triple bonds. We went further and classified them as either saturated or unsaturated, and we said that saturated hydrocarbons, they contain single bonds, but unsaturated, they are having triple and double bonds. In addition, we went ahead and talked of the first 10 alkanes, and we said we were categorizing them according to the number of carbons that they are having. So we said the alkanes that have one carbon are methane, two are ethane, and then until we reach to the 10th, which was decane. So for today's lesson, we will move on to the nomenclature of the alkanes. So allow me to share my screen. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Just a minute as I set it. What about now? Can you see it?
Yeah, now it's okay. Yes.
Okay. Is it still visible?
Yes. I can see nomenclature of branch alkanes.
Okay, thank you. So today we are going to learn about the nomenclature of the branched alkenes. And before I proceed, I'm having some expectations. So by the end of this lesson, I expect that you'll be able to identify the branched alkanes and will be able to give the structure of these alkanes. So basing the knowledge that we obtained from the previous class, I do believe that by this time you can be able to name at least the first 10 alkanes. So if you maybe you can't recall well, I'm having a chart there, as you can be able to see it from the first carbon up to the 10th carbon. So that is from the methane up to the decane. So we'll move to the IUPAC nomenclature. So here we are having, and we will start by the first rule of naming these alkanes. So the first rule is that you are supposed to select the longest continuous carbon chain and name it as a parent alkene. So from my screen, I'm having an alkane there. So if you can be able to count this one that I'm showing here, how many carbons can you be able to count? There are 8, so you can see we are having from this carbon 1, carbon 2, 3, 4, and then we are moving up to carbon 8. And from our previous class, we said that if an alkane has 8 carbon, which name will it be called? The name of an alkane with 8 carbons, the name will be? Any trial? Yes, it is supposed to be octane. So in this case, we are having from carbon number 4, we are having a branch there of methane. So since we are having a branch there at methane, this will be, we will count from the first carbon. So this is the first, second, third, and then you reach at the fourth. So at the fourth point, this is where we are having the methane. So the name of this alkane will be 4-methyl octane. And then there are 3 different alkanes with an 8 carbon parent. So you are having another one here. So as you can see here, you are having also this the same. This it is still octane, but at this point you are having our longest carbon chain. So this means we will start from this point. I hope you can be able to see my mouse. So this will be our first, second, third, fourth, but you cannot count from this carbon, because when you're going to count from this carbon as your carbon number 1, by the time you reach here, this will be, that won't represent the longest carbon chain. So for this case, the longest carbon chain will be starting from this one here. We are having a methane here. So this will be 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4. So for the name of this for this alkane, this will be known as 4-ethyl octane. So we will move to the next rule. So the next rule will be, you are supposed to number the carbon atoms in such a way so that the substituents gets the smallest possible number. For this case, you can see we are having our methyl here. Our methyl is at carbon number 2. So when naming this alkane, we will start from the point where we are having the shortest distance from the first carbon. So this means that you will start naming from this carbon here, the one that I'm showing you, but not this one indicated as the 5th. So this will be 1, 2. So since this is the carbon atom, and then you are having a methyl group here, and then the longest number of carbon here we are having, there are 5. So in this case, this will be 2 to represent the position of that methyl group. So this will be 2-methyl pentane. And then we are having at this point we are having 6 carbons, and then from these 6 carbons we are having the shortest distance will be from this end here. So this will be 1, 2, 3, and then from that point we are having an ethane. So this means that this will be 1, 2, 3, as you can see, and then this is an ethyl. So this will be 3-ethyl hexane. And then we also having here at we are having also another alkane with 8 carbons, and then at position 4 we are having also a branched alkane there. So this is supposed to be 4-isol. Just a minute. Yes. Okay, we are having our third rule. So for our third rule is that if more than one substituent is attached to the parent hydrocarbon, the chain is numbered in the direction that will result in the lowest number of the lowest number possible. So the substituents are listed alphabetically in order, with each substituent generating getting the appropriate number. For this case, we are having an octane here because this alkane is having 8 carbons. So for this case, we are having at point number, this is 1, 2, 3. There is a group here of an ethyl, and then We also having this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then at the fifth point we are having an ethyl, and then so this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from this alkane with 8 carbon atoms, for you to name, you are supposed to, for you to name this particular given alkane that you're having, you cannot mention it as a 4-ethyl 6-methyl octane, but instead this is supposed to be a 5-ethyl 3-methyl octane. Are we together? Yes.
Yes.
Nextly, the other rule that you are having is that if two or more substituents are the same, that is, the prefix di, tri, tetra are supposed to be used to indicate that to indicate the number of identical substituents the compound is having. So the number indicating the location of the identical substances are supposed to be listed together, separated by comma. For example, from this hexane that you are having here, there is 2 methyl. So in this case, this will be, so this number that you are having here, 2 and 4, they are representing the number of the position at which they are being attached to this main alkane. So for this case, you are having, this is, you will start from this end. So this will be 1, 2. So you are having a first methyl group there, and then 3, 4. At point 4, you're also having another methyl group. So in this case, when naming, you will start from this first methyl. So this will be 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So the name of this particular given alkane will be 2,4-dimethyl hexane. And then you're also having another compound here. So how many carbons can we be able to note from this alkane, the one that I'm highlighting here? How many carbons can you note for it is having? Franklin?
7.
7. So that means that that will be an heptane. And how many methane is it having? Ethane is it having? How many methyl groups does it have?
4.
It is 4. So this means that you will first of all identify the position of each. So this will be 1, 2, 3. At this point 3, we are having 2 methyl groups, and then at point 4, we're also having 2. So for this case, the name of this alkane will be 3, 3, 4, 4 tetra methyl heptane. So this means that we are using the word tetra since we are having 4 methyl groups. Are we together? So the next rule that you are having is that when both directions lead to the same lowest number for one of the substituents, the direction is chosen that gives the lowest possible number to one of the remaining substituents. So for this case, for example, at point 2, at this second position, we are having 2 methyl groups, and then so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and also at position 4 we're also having another methyl. So for this case, we will start naming from this carbon. So this will be 1, 2, and then at this point 2, since we are having 2 methyl groups, so for this case, this alkane will be 2, 2, 4 methyl pentane. So and then another rule that we are having is that if the same substituent number are obtained in both directions, the first group cited receives the lowest number. For example, from this alkane that you are having, you can be able to identify that at the second carbon we are having chlorine there, and then at point number 3 we are also having a bromine there. So for this case, between bromine, which starts with the letter B, and chlorine, which starts with the letter C, which one do you think will be the first one to be named? Chlorine or bromine? Bromine. So bromine. So in this case, this will be, we will identify the position of of bromine, so it is found in the next carbon, so this will be 1 2. So for this, and then for chlorine, it is found on the third position, so this will be 2 bromo 3 chlorobutane. The next rule that you are having is that if a compound has 2 or more chains of the same length, the parent hydrocarbon is the chain with the greatest number. So for this case, you can be able to see. So you are having, this will be our first carbon, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So for this branch that it at this point, the one that I am highlighting here, this will indicate that this is supposed to be 3-ethyl 2-methyl hexane. Any question up to that point? Any question? So if there is no question, I do believe that at least by this you can be able to identify a given. Any question? Okay, if there is no question, I'll leave you with an assignment. So here is your assignment. The assignment is that you will state the structure of the following. So, and there we are having the 3 structures. So I wish you a blessed evening. Thank you.